guys, welcome to the very first episode of Let's Chat. I'm with my husband Aaron today, and the theme for today's video is running a business with your spouse. So to kick things off, you may wonder, if you're sort of new to our channel, who are we and what is our business? So my name's Megan.
Aaron.
This is my husband, Aaron, and our business is Healthy Grocery Girl. We are a nutrition and video company. We have a wellness membership website at healthygrocerygirl.com that has a bunch of video courses, nutrition programs, meal plans, all sorts of resources to help people shop, cook, and eat healthy. And then we also have a video production side of our business. We create all of the content for our YouTube channel, Healthy Grocery Girl here. And then we also do sometimes work for hire projects where clients will hire us to create video content for them. So that's basically our business is very nutrition focused. I'm a registered dietitian, so creating content for our wellness membership website, and then also for our YouTube channel, and lots of videos.
That's it. She
Nailed
said it all.
Nailed it. Okay, so how this video is going to work is, I already explained what our business is. The next thing is we're each going to share some tips on working together with your spouse. And then I asked you guys on Snapchat and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram if you had any questions for us. And a few of you asked us some questions, so we're going to answer those. So first, I'm going to explain a little bit more about how we started working together.
Sure.
And then we'll get to all of your nuggets of wisdom that I know you have stored up.
Whatever you need to do.
Okay, so I started the company about 6 years ago, I believe now. Time really flies. So 6 years ago, and then Aaron, when we started dating and then got engaged and got married, Aaron has always helped me out with the business. He had more of a traditional 9-to-5 job, but on the weekends and the evenings, he would always help out. So he was always a part of the company, but when we moved down to Los Angeles about a year ago, that's when we decided to just go for it, and we were both going to work full-time at Healthy Grocery Girl. And that was always a dream of ours, was to be able to work full-time together. But I think the move really helped us take that leap of faith, and so now we work full-time together. So a big thanks to you guys for watching our videos and all of our clients and our members on our membership website, because you guys allow us to do what we do. So thank you so much, and we really love and appreciate all of you. So that's a little bit about how we came to work together. But I'm talking a lot, so I'm gonna switch gears here, and we're gonna get to our tips. We thought we each would come up with 3 tips that we think are good for working with your spouse, sort of. So like if somebody was like, hey, I want to start a business with my spouse, what tips would you have for us? That's what we're going to share. So maybe we'll go back and forth. And why don't you share like your
Start with a tip?
Tip number 1.
Tip number 1, I would say finding the right roles for each person. It may not seem automatic right away. You might be better at something than you think you are, so try every little bit. When you run your own business, just the 2 of us, we do everything from accounting to video production to marketing and etc. So both people should try every little bit, but kind of focus roles, and it helps define things so you're not crossing over people.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think in our business, we work well together because we have separate strengths. I like to do a lot of the creative, and I do a lot of other things besides that, but then Aaron is really good at things I absolutely do not like to do that make us much more efficient. So Aaron, he runs our cameras, he does video editing, he does all of our accounting and our bookkeeping, any type of Excels or systems or all of that kind of stuff. He really helps us be more efficient as a company, which has really helped, because before, when it was just essentially me, it was hard to ever take a break from running the business. But now that Aaron has helped make us more efficient, we can actually take evenings off or weekends off sometimes, and that helps us have a better work-life balance. So that was one of mine, so I'll share a different one. So one of my tips is to communicate with each other.
Communication.
Yes, we talk a lot. We're together pretty much 24/7, and we talk about everything that happens with the business, pretty much every email, every opportunity. We just communicate. And I think that helps us always be on the same page. Nothing's really a surprise. I will even email Aaron, and then I'll still talk about what I emailed him about. I'll say, I just emailed you this, but blah, 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 blah. So we obviously talk to each other at work, but we also like to go on walks to kind of get some fresh air, and we sit at our computers a lot, so to kind of decompress, and then we'll talk about business while we walk. So we just really communicate with each other. And I think even if it seems excessive, like over communicating and being really very clear about what you expect from one another, what you would like help with from another, because I think a lot of frustrations just come from miscommunication. So communication is my tip.
Communication is key,
Yes.
as they say.
Okay, what's your number 2?
My number 2 tip is to remember that you want to be doing this job. And I think a lot of times when people, any job, self-employed, work for the man, whatever, people, if you're complaining all the time about your job, it's probably because you don't want to have that job. And we're lucky enough that we're doing what we want to do. So when things get tough, or maybe there's some miscommunication, or we disagree on something, there's no point in arguing it or like getting upset about it, because we want to be here, we want to be working together, and we want to be doing this, and so it's worth it. So if sometimes you might just be, swallowing your pride or your opinion on one thing and moving on to the greater picture, because this is what we want to be doing. So there's no point in like getting upset about things.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And that's kind of
That's why I made it.
Goes well with my tip number 2, and that was to be in it together. And even though that I started the company, I think I'm really lucky that Aaron is my husband, has really supported, which was essentially initially my dream, but then became both of our dreams as we have evolved in our relationship. But I think, every decision that we make and everything that we do, it's really, we're invested in this together. The decisions that we make and the opportunities that we take can either hinder or help the growth of our business and our career. Mm-hmm. And so, even if something's boring, like accounting or whatever, like all those things help make our company run, and we're just committed to both doing our best to make our dream come true. And I think, obviously I love nutrition and I love video production, but family is really important to me. And so I really always wanted a career that allowed me to be with my family as much as possible. Mm-hmm. And you're my family.
That's us.
So I love being able to work with my spouse. So that is my tip number 2, is just remember that like you're in this together and you're a team.
My tip number 3 is to really focus on work-life balance. Now this is something that's important for everybody, no matter what job you have. But when you work for yourself and with your spouse, it becomes even more particularly important, because no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing with your wife or your husband, it's easy to bring work up because you're the two that work on it. And so while it's not bad to talk about work, like say if you're at the beach hanging out, trying to have a nice relaxing day, if it's a stressful conversation, you kind of just have to say, we're not going to talk about it, because if you're out trying to relax, and relaxation is key to everybody's life, and particularly ours, because you can just get wrapped up in everything. So if you're trying to relax and a work conversation is stressing you guys out, just stop. Just stop the conversation, deal with it tomorrow. It's always there tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And especially talking about relaxation, like it's important to help each other and focus on like getting relaxation for both people, going on walks, going to the gym, whatever's key for each individual to kind of let that stress go. It's important to maybe remind your spouse, hey, you haven't done your yoga today or whatever, and that might be, I'm a huge yogi, just like the downward, upward tarantula, but
Totally.
She's always reminding me to do my yoga and de-stress.
But I agree with you. I think it's important to, I don't really believe per se in like having it be like work-life balance where it's like it's so segmented, because I think it's better to be able to find a way that you can blend it all, because sometimes we'll work, because we work for ourselves, we have this nice luxury of we'll maybe have a work day till like 2, and then we'll take a break for maybe like an hour or 2 and like go run some errands, which sometimes can be business errands, or like go walk around Target or something, and then we'll come home, but maybe we'll end up working later that evening, so we just kind of shift our hours around. But I think it's just important to make sure that you're both looking out for each other's like health and well-being, and being sensitive to that, and just trying to create that balance. So
perfect. And what's your tip number 3? We're blowing through these.
Yeah. So my tip number 3 is to respect each other. And I think this is important because, so when we first started working together, like full time, I think it was maybe about like 2 months that it wasn't hard, but it was just like we had to figure out like what our roles are. And before I started the company, I did absolutely everything. Like the videos before, I would film all of them myself, and we didn't have 2 cameras at that time, so I would film every episode twice. I would do the main camera and then reposition the camera to get like B-roll shots. I edited everything. I did all the bookkeeping. It was a lot of work for me. And so when Aaron came along, I had to learn to like let go. And I wouldn't say I'm like a type A person because...
I would. Not in a bad way. Type A is great.
But I mean...
I'd like to think I'm type A too, but...
Okay, well, maybe I am. I don't know. But some things I really don't care about, like laundry on the floor. But
she's not a housework type A.
That's a whole nother.
That's
okay. So business type A. I'm very driven and ambitious. But I had to really trust Aaron and let things go because I was used to being like the manager of my business. But Aaron, in his role before he joined Healthy Grocery Girl, he was a manager role as well. So he was used to being in charge and being able to like do his thing. And I had to be respectful of that. And so we had to kind of create our roles, and I had to let him be the manager of those roles. And even though technically like I'm kind of the boss because like I started the company.
She's the boss. Hey.
I still have to be like, we both own the company now, so it's like we're both the boss, but I still have to be respectful of him. So how we speak to each other, and I really have to be able to trust you in, that you're going to get things done. I don't like micromanage you, and just respecting each other. And I think because when you're with your spouse, I mean, that's probably the person that you're the most comfortable with, and so it's really easy to be snippy, or you like to say sometimes I get spicy. And
I have never said that.
Maybe you just get really comfortable, and so it's maybe easier to talk not as nice to each other. But I think it's important to remember that you need to treat your spouse as your coworker like you would any other coworker, and that's to be very respectful to them. So I think that respecting each other is really key in your business relationship, but also in just like your relationship is to be very like loving and respectful to each other. Okay, so you guys sent us some questions on social media, so thank you so much for those. And if you have other questions for us, you can let us know in the comment section below, or any other ideas of videos or things you'd like us to talk about in future videos, let us know in the comments below. The first question comes from Gabby on Instagram. Thank you, Gabby, for your question. And she said, how do you come up with recipe ideas that you both agree on?
Trial and error. A lot of recipe testing. Not everything we make turns out, for sure. And so we make a lot of stuff and change the recipe later. So I think that's how we just trial and error.
Yeah, I mean, we make a lot of recipes. We pretty much put up a recipe video every single Thursday for like the past 3 years, and then we create tons of recipes for our membership site. So we just create a lot of recipes, and basically like if we both think it tastes good, then it passes, and if it doesn't taste good, then it doesn't. And we both really love to eat, so it kind of makes it easier.
Yeah. It's great.
Definitely. So hopefully they answered your question. Question number 2 comes from Sonia on Instagram. Thank you, Sonia. And she also said that her and her husband run a business together. So awesome that you guys also run your own business.
So Sonia's question is whether we discuss business opportunities as they arise, every single one of them, or whether one of us might just go ahead with the business opportunity and then once it's started, we discuss it later. And I think we definitely discuss everything as soon as it comes up, when it comes up.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the answer.
Yeah. I mean, if I get an email for something, like I'll say, hey, like usually we'll just kind of start talking about it. But if he's like editing a video and he needs 5 minutes to wrap up a section that he's doing, then we'll talk about it. Then we'll kind of say, hey, I want to talk about this. Let me know when you got a break where we can talk about it. But we don't just move forward on things without discussing it with each other. We discuss absolutely everything, and we come to an agreement on things, and that's how we decide to move forward with them. Question number 3 comes from Rachel on Snapchat, and she said, how did you decide who does what job and what role?
That was another trial and error. I think, as Megan said, when she started the business, she was doing all of her own video editing. That's one of the biggest things I do now. And so when I started working with her, she kind of just kept doing that. But it's maybe more a little bit in my wheelhouse. And so once I kind of learned it a little bit, and I helped out on a few videos here and there, it was like, wow, okay, this is fun for me. It's really enjoyable. It's very tedious, and I like tedious jobs. And so, yeah, I just kind of picked that one up, and it fits really well. And then I do the accounting because she hates it. So that was not trial or an error. That was just, Erin, you do this. And so I do that now. And then, yeah, everything else we just kind of, you know, we both work on it a little bit, and whoever kind of has the skills for it faster, or more importantly, whoever enjoys doing it more, that's the one who kind of just keeps doing it.
Yeah. But I think we do have kind of clear roles, like you do the accounting, you do all the editing.
Yeah. Once we figured it out, now we kind of like stick to what we do.
Yeah,
so.
I basically do all like the email communication with people and with clients, the creative, the content creation for our website, a lot of like that and
social
all,
media.
all the social media that takes up a huge amount of time.
I
So.
hardly even keep my phone, and it's just, I don't even know where it is half the time, which is great.
Yeah. So I do all the marketing and all that kind of stuff, and, you know, being more available to communicate with you guys. This also comes from Snapchat. Joy asks, how do you handle differences or opinions?
I think we just discuss it. There's a certain element where she did start the business, and the business is based around her, kind of, in a way. So I often, in certain things, defer. It's just sometimes if we have a difference of opinion, it'll just be like, it is technically your baby. So, you know, I'll defer in that, especially when it comes to things that I don't do a lot of, like social media and that stuff. I don't spend a lot of time on social media. And so, you know, if I don't know very much about Instagram or Snapchat or anything.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, she kind of runs those. And then otherwise we just discuss it.
Yeah, and I think like we were filming a video earlier today, and we were trying to like, we had two different styles of how we wanted to do one section of the video, and like I was explaining one way and you were explaining another, and we were both having like two completely separate ideas. It took us a second to both get on the same page, and I think both ways we would have done that style of that portion of the video would have turned out great, but we just decided to go with the way that you were originally thinking it, because in my mind, like, both would have worked, but I just wanted to move along. And like a lot of times Erin has really good ideas, and so sometimes it's just like, I just want to get through this, I want to just keep having fun and be happy, so it's like, just pick a way and go for it. And it's not really about like whose idea is it, it's just at the end of the day, like, we want to have fun with what we do, we want to be happy, and that is more important than necessarily like getting your way or being right. So sometimes one idea is not better than the other. You just have to pick one for the sake of like keeping your sanity and moving forward. And the last question was a Facebook message from Chelsea. Do you want to read the question?
What is your favorite part of working together? You should answer that first.
I think my favorite part of working together is just like being able to be together. Like I said, Erin is my best friend, and I couldn't think of a better way to live and to run your business than to be able to surround yourself with like the people and the things that you love all the time. And so I think I just really enjoy being together, and I think that really helps with like the quality of life, but also like the quality of our relationship.
I would agree. That's obviously the best answer. But to come up with another thing that's great about working together is it's kind of like when we had two separate jobs. We'd come home at the end of the day, and we'd spend a lot of time talking about what happened at my job and talking about what happened at her job. And now that we work together, yes, the job infiltrates every part of our life, but on the same hand, when it is time to relax and not think about work, it's really easy to do because we've already discussed everything all day long when we're sitting across from each other in our desks. So it helps to free up some more of that mental space for, you know, your time off of work, because when we both had two separate jobs, it was just, we were always talking about work.
Yeah. I have another thing to say about
Excellent.
why I like working together. I also like working together because it's really nice to have like a partner. And I feel like a lot of times when you run your own business, especially if you're basically like the only one running your business, and if you like work from home, it can be incredibly lonely and you feel so alone, like in making decisions and just like you're just alone all the time. So if you basically have your own business or an entrepreneur as well, like let me know in the comments if you agree with that. And so even though like Aaron was always in support of things and it was still our business together, even if he went to like his normal 9-to-5 job, it was still lonely a lot of the time. So I think the fact that now we're in this together, this is both our full-time job, 100%. I feel now that like you have my back, I have your back, like we're partners in this and I have someone to discuss everything with. And I think that even though like when you run your own business, there's so much insecurity, like financially every month is different. And you know, a lot of times you don't really know where you're gonna be in the next couple months. So it's just kind of like, you just have to learn to like roll with those seasons. But I also think there's a lot of security that comes with having like a business partner. And so I really like that part of working together.
Yeah, it's great.
So those are all of our questions.
Awesome. Thank you for the questions.
Yeah, thank you guys for the questions. Those were our tips. I think that'll wrap up this video because it's probably getting pretty long. But I hope you guys enjoyed our advice and our tips and the chit chat style. Like I said, if you have other questions for us, you can leave them in the comments below. Or if you have some ideas of other videos or topics you'd like both of us to talk about in a future video, or just me or just Aaron, maybe a video where Aaron
You don't want a video of just
Aaron
me.
maybe can give like fashion advice or something.
T-shirts.
Just let us know. And as always, thank you so much for watching and thank you for subscribing to our channel.
Yep.
And that's it. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day and we will see you in the next video.
Bye.